Alright, welcome back everyone to another Discord League cast. We have the one of the last two top 8 matches remaining. We have Crane versus Crab. We have Micah versus Jokingly. And I'm joined by Sir Largeness, aka Frotop, as my co-commentator.
Howdy howdy.
So, just going to throw this good old advertisement into media. The players are just going to resolve mulligans. And we'll take a quick look at their decks here. So, the... I didn't even notice this was Micah's deck. So, Micah's deck title is, I feel like a scrub for running 41. So, Micah's... Go ahead.
I'm also torn on the Dragon Splash, just because, like, Fury is very good against Crab. But Let Go is definitely good against Reprieve, so I don't actually know if by flipping from the norm and going 3 Let Go and 2 Fury is going to necessarily hurt him. I guess it depends on what Jokingling's draw is going to be.
Micah has said in talks basically that he just values the ability to get rid of, like specifically the Unicorn Splash and Crab, Spyglasses, and stuff like that, Cloud the Mind. So I think that's the reason. There was a discussion earlier today about 3 versus, like, there was a literal debate on what's correct, 3 Fury or 3 Let Go, and I think it's just personal preference. It looks like Micah's 41st card is a second Noble Sack. If I had to guess what, like, the cut would be,
Or like a 3rd Fine Katana. I mean,
sure, yeah. Like you could definitely cut it to 40, but I mean Micah just wanted all these cards. He's just like, whatever.
oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say his Dynasty deck looks pretty standard. He's playing 1 Shizaway, because he has the attachments. Do you see anything different? I mean, this looks pretty standard to me.
Yeah, I mean, no Doji representatives. He's going for the 3-cost uniques instead. But I mean, you know, it's pretty standard outside of that.
Oh, well, looks like the players have just started. I guess Resolve Mulligans meant something different to them. So let's just get to casting, and then I'll talk about Jokingly Splash just while there's some downtime.
So
Yeah.
It is a Lion Splash, so that's super interesting.
I think it actually is really good in this matchup. So, Jokingly lost the die roll. He buys Envoy, and then Intimidating. He does get the Passing Fate, and he has flipped the Imperial Palace. Last thing to note on Micah's deck is Micah plays the Art of Peace. He's the only Crane player that I know that still plays it.
Oh yeah, that is up there.
For those who don't know, the Art of Peace is the Crane unique province, and it is 4 strength, air province, so he gets Seeker of Air. And whenever it's broken, you dishonor all opposing characters at the battle and honor all your own. So there's definitely some cute play to it. It's just the problem is it's not reliable, and then once flipped, it becomes farmable.
It definitely makes the 2 Noble Sacks maybe a little bit more reasonable, right? If that's a mechanism that you're using to turn it on.
That's true. It's yeah. So like shameful Art of Peace is really the blowout, right? Like that's usually what happens. But we see Jokingly poking Earth here. Goes in with his Envoy. So Jokingly Splash is Lion. He's playing 3 Ready for Battle, 3 Ageless Crone, 2 Vengeful Oathkeeper as his splash. And he actually is down to 2 Assassination and only 1 Way of the Crab. I guess 2 Assassination is pretty standard, but he's on 1 Mountain and 1 Way of the Crab.
You know, because of that deck choice, that makes the way that Micah has purchased these guys a little bit less risky. Like, against Crab, normally I have trouble, even if it's 2 cheap guys, putting Fate on both of them just because of the Assassination into Way of the Crab play. Since there's a reduced possibility of that, I think it's perfectly reasonable on Micah's part to put 1 Fate on each of these guys.
This is risky by Micah if he gets assassinated here.
Fan of defending, I don't understand what you get out of it.
Well, so Micah, or I mean, Jokingly gets a keeper, right? So that's the reason that. Okay, sure. So Micah threatens Voice of Honor here.
I would be more okay with letting the keeper come into play on this first turn when, like, that matters less than trying to throw cards away with defending it.
Yeah,
especially if you lose here, you know, and you spent cards and then have to.
Yeah, I would say that, especially with the palace being shown right here, letting the keeper come into play is not as big of a deal. Like before, maybe you didn't want to fight this Den in Glory.
We do see Micah successfully defend there, so. Micah's best choice here would be to attack in with Void just to remove the ring from the claim pool, since Void activation definitely hurts him more than it does Jokingly.
If I have a way of the crab, if I have my way of the crab here, I'd fire it off here. I don't think I'm gonna get too many good opportunities with just one. And I would trade away the crab with a Caillou Envoy for a Voice of Honor for sure.
Yeah, that's probably reasonable. Probably likely that he just doesn't have it, though.
That's fair. We see runs into Shameful here, contesting water, actually threatening to unbow his scout. So Jokingly defends. He's gonna Shameful activation first, or box. Either one works. Oh, Watch Commander first. That's also strong. Does Micah have a let go?
Normally this wouldn't be too big of a deal because like Haruma Skirmishers are kind of your only drop out of Crab, but with Ageless Crone in Jokingly's deck, this is actually somewhat of a greedy play to try and stand Cautious Scout, because now he can just drop the Ageless Crone into play and threaten Void, and Micah would have to then spend some extra fate and cards to stop it.
No.
Not that might happen, but I think that is a possibility.
I mean, it has to be Crone plus Fan. Come on, dude, you've been playing Crane. There's this thing called the box.
I'm just like, it is possible. He is.
Well, yeah, you have to do Crone plus Fan, right? Like you can't just drop Crone and poke because it just gets bowed by the box. Right, like
I play Crane, quote unquote, but you know, I don't think I've been adopted by the clan.
That's fair. Spirit Fire Must is obvious. Box is obvious in chat. Come on, dude. If I've learned anything about the Crane clan, having not played them that much, it's to use my box. I don't think I want to. If I don't have a let go here, I don't want to commit any cards to this. Like, oh wow, Jokingly gets a debate off too, 4-2. I wonder what he's gonna bid. You could bid 1 here, and then if Micah tries to turn it, yeah. So Jokingly bid 1, Micah bid 3 to prevent the debate. I think that's interesting. I think if I'm Micah here, I would bid 4.
If I was Jokingly, I would have bid for the tie or the win. So I don't.
Well, I would have bid to win. I think bidding the tie is just dumb.
That's fair. I mean, like I think if he had bid 3 there, he would have been fine.
Well, I think the bids are for each player. It's 1 and whatever it is to win for Jokingly, and then it's 1 and 4 for Micah. So if you bid 4 as Micah, you beat a 1. But maybe he doesn't want to face the honor potential. Like he's gonna go down to 8 if he doesn't have a conflict character. The main problem for Jokingly is he's not playing a deck with Spyglass, right? Like Spyglass is the card that can let you. Yeah, Bill says double levy in a card. Like if Jokingly just has, if Jokingly just has a steward here, or sorry, Micah has a steward here. Yep, there he is. Now you have to assassinate here if you're Jokingly. I mean, you don't have to, but do you go? What ring do you go here? I could see all 3 being viable choices. Like you could air and then go back to 11 and safely draw 5 again.
Air is fine, but it's a bit of a. It feels like a waste to just use a character on it.
That's fair.
Since he's going military, it seems like this would be more of a bonsai break situation. So the ring probably doesn't matter as much to Micah. He's going fire. I guess that makes sense.
He's just gonna. He's probably gonna dishonor the Hida, if I had to guess. He could honor his. Interesting, a Crone shows up. Huh.
what he's doing here is he's making sure that if bonsais or anything like that happen, then Micah has to spend money for it, which may not be.
Yeah, but he just spent two. He just spent 2 cards. Like he's down. He's down. Or he just went fate. Like if I'm Micah, I'm happy right now. I'll pass. Sure. Okay. I would have just taken the win in terms of like how important is this firing, right? Like I guess if my hand is just multiple Voice of Honors, I need the firing here.
Yep.
Jokingly's passed.
Yes, I guess before Jokingly gets the quote-unquote bad stuff.
So Micah takes the win here. I think he's going to dishonor the Hida if I had to guess. Yep.
Have fun.
This gives him a full turn of voice being on, and he's going to give first player challenger. Yeah, I think Jokingly played that debate incorrectly. I think at this point in the game you're just not ready to start threatening honor.
I mean, Jokingly should have definitely bid for the win at that point in time.
Yeah.
Any first turn policy debates, when you have a separation of only 2 or 3 or something like that, you need to bid the minimum to ensure a win at all times. Especially in this Crane matchup. I mean, sure, there's Asamis or Hotarus eventually down the line, but since you're Crabs and you're playing Watch Commander, it's on you to provide the honor pressure, not the other way around. So I think that maybe he just didn't want to give up too much ground, right? Like, but that just still feels bad to me.
Well, we're gonna see Casada this turn. Bill, what's up?
For buying the Challenger. The guest of honor is gonna be important to him at all.
You kind of cut out there. You want to repeat what you were saying?
Oh, I wonder if protecting the guest of honor province is gonna be a priority for Micah or not.
Interesting. We see a 1 bid from Jokingly already on turn 2.
The policy debate, he decided that now is the point in time to start honor pressuring.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not how I would play the matchup, but it's just not my style, right? So, but I don't fault someone for if this is how they want to play it.
We're obviously dumb assholes.
Well, I mean, it's just a stylistic difference, right? Like that's the cool part about this game, in that if I gave you his deck, you would play it differently than he did, and probably differently than I did. You know what I mean? Like that's the cool part, right? Where you could give a deck to 3 different people, and they could reasonably play it well 3 different times.
But I definitely, it definitely is putting a lot of faith in your hand at this point in time, and there, a hand discrepancy of 4 on turn 2 is not a small thing. I guess he'll be able to cut it to 3 with the Imperial Palace.
Yeah, the hands are similar at this turn, but the thing is, Jokingly needs to be in damage control this turn. If he can escape this turn with not suffering too much, I think it'll work out. He's gonna get another card with the storehouse also. So we see a military attack here. Defends with the scout. I wonder. Jokingly defends with Casada. Are we gonna see a mountain here maybe, or an attempted mountain? Nope. Just see a pass.
If we see Micah burn in action here.
No, I think you're happy.
Yeah.
So now I wonder if jokingly attacks air, earth, or water. I think are the 3 reasonable choices here. You basically need to not hit. Also, firing is really scary. If Micah's playing 2 copies of Noble Sack, so if you get firing, dishonor Casada, you're in trouble for Noble Sack, and you know he hasn't drawn that many cards. You know Micah could have a let go for a reprieve.
He's choosing to cast conflict, however.
Reasonable. I think he's scared. I think he's scared of what could come. Like I think you need to dodge Noble Sack this turn. You cannot afford to get sacked.
Yeah, I think attacking the water range just to sustain Casada is a bit greedy.
Well, it doesn't do anything, right? Like if
yeah.
he can't reasonably block on defense that well. So we see a pre-combat fan. Micah is playing 3 copies of Policy Debate, so yeah. Interesting that jokingly passes. If I have a fan, I would play it. I would play pre-conflict here.
Yeah, that's probably reasonable. Just because then at that point in time you can use your box to start and be in a better position.
Well, yeah, you just don't want to get debated, right? So if you 3, and then if you get debated, it'll be 5 to 4 if you box, or if, I guess if you, oh, we see Let Go Underman. Let Go on the Watch Commander is really big here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Casada's still on. Mittens points out, but Micah can cancel that with the Challenger action. He can cancel with the Challenger action. He can cancel it with the Crane Box, targeting his own character. We see a firing, and we see Defend the Wall. This screams Noble Sack to me.
It is interesting. Like, he does really want to win this, but he did have to burn a Let Go on the Watch Commander. We see another Watch Commander come down, which is super sick. Would be if jokingly actually has a reprieve, and Micah doesn't have the second.
Yeah, this is where playing 3 Let Goes is really nice, right? Where you have a higher chance of seeing them, and then B, you just have more of them. But if this game is about to go into low bid territory, and so if you just don't see... also, not attacking is really good for jokingly because of Fury, right? Like, if you just get Furied, you get blown out. We see a fan come out here. If jokingly has a Court Games, it would be really strong. Dishonor the Challenger. Or I guess maybe you honor the Hida.
No, I think you definitely dishonor. The 5 cards in his hand for a Court Game. Oh my!
Wow, it's so good. If jokingly wins this, it's super good for him. Because he'll defend the wall, and he'll be able to dishonor the Challenger. And then if he has a conflict character, he can conflict character air. He can even conflict character or political if he wants, like if he has another crone.
If you're jokingly and you win this fire, do you just honor Hida Casada?
I was just gonna say that. I was just gonna say that. Like, is that Micah passes? Oh no. So yeah, Joking is gonna pass here. He's gonna win. He's gonna Earth Ring, or sorry, he's gonna defend the wall to firing. Now, you dishonor Challenger, you honor Casada. Those are the two. Those are the 2 blinds.
I think you protect your assets, right? Because, like, you know, the thing is, jokingly is running Stand Your Grounds. So honoring Casada actually...
No, he's not.
Yeah.
No,
Sorry,
that's,
Yeah.
That's Toreador's list.
Either way, I still think that you protect your Hida Casada asset here, because I think that Micah's play was sort of like...
Telegraphed?
Telegraphing... Noble Sack, and I think it's fine to protect you against it. Ultimately, he chose to be more aggressive with it, and that's still a perfectly fine play, because Micah's only leaving play this turn, so...
Oh yeah, honoring Casada is good too, because it turns Voice of Honor off. The chat points out that would be really strong too.
I guess he's just not that worried about Micah having honored characters, since the only honored character is leaving play, and he's dishonored the only other one in play. I don't know. It seems a little bit risky since there is a brash samurai just awaiting in the probs.
Agreed. Yep, we see jokingly keeping political favor, which is really strong. Oh, cool. We see a steward of law. It's not. I mean, I don't even care. I don't even think it would be that bad if my opponent trades their tooled up intimidating Hida for this challenger, and he's only playing one way of the crab. I don't know if I would play steward of law here, but we'll see. It doesn't really hurt him that much because I mean he had the fate to spend, and it just takes out the surprise factor mostly. He pitches Guest of Honor. What do you think about that?
I think it's surprising.
We see our boy Yoshi show up against an opposing palace, and then we see a second keeper and double Witch Hunter. Witch Hunter is really sick here if he's a conflict character. And then you can we can see a first attack Earth with Kasada. And if Jokingly has a ready for battle, he could counter a for shame or a fury. The three ready for battles are going to be really clutch in this matchup. You do have to worry attacking with Kasada though if you run into Shameful.
I was gonna say, like, is it worth trying to scout out a new province, or do you just run at the meditations?
You could send Intimidating Heat at Meditations, Intimidating Heat at Meditations Earth, or you could go for Air if you wanted the extra fate. I think Earth is definitely stronger with double Keeper.
Maybe you just do political Earth at that point in time.
If Jokingly has a he does have the conflict character to stack to his Witch Hunter. If Jokingly has a charge, for instance, for the second Witch Hunter, it would be excellent to go for Earth, because then you'd have two unbows ready.
If you're going military, I don't know. It seems like a liability to send either of the two characters with fate on them at an unknown province, because they're, it's also Art of Peace, shockingly enough.
Yeah, that's true.
If he just lets them break, that could end up being a huge swing.
Kasada's just going in? This is so risky.
I guess it's not any more risky than...
And they're Shameful.
Meditations, right? Like, Meditations, you lose a fate, at that point in time, you either have reprieve or not. So I think this is just sort of accelerating the either you have reprieve or not.
That's fair.
Game plan.
Definitely reasonable. I don't think Jokingly has Censure. He does not. He could also have... I mean, he doesn't really have a good debate target here, so I don't think he has that. I'm just... basically, I'm just assuming Micah has a Noble Sack here based on the way he played last turn.
It's interesting, though, because if I did have a Noble Sack, I probably would have bought one of these guys without putting Fate on it, right?
Well, he had the Honored Scout. We see Narishma is going to be extremely useful here in terms of canceling Hida Kasada. That's one of Narishma's many jobs.
But if you throw Narishma in front of this thing, and then interesting. So this
line of play makes me feel like he doesn't have Noble Sack. I'm very confused.
Maybe he's gonna he'll burn Narishma, right? And then Shameful Display Kasada Narishma.
No, he could debate Kasada with Challenger. Challenger's still 3-2, but I guess he doesn't have the honor to play with here. Interesting. Yep. So Narishma cancels.
Well, Shameful Display Kasada, and then he'll sack the Narishma and kill Kasada, and then at that point in time have the Challenger.
Yeah, that's probably why you do it this way. Then the challenge. Well, no, the Challenger can't. The Challenger is still losing to the Skirmisher.
Man, that's weird.
This is an interesting spot here. I would imagine. I would imagine jokingly knows about the Noble Sack play. I hope. I hope. Oh wow, he doesn't even go for Noble Sack. He dishonors Kasada. Maybe he'll go for it later in the turn by honoring his Brash Samurai. Or he could Way of the Crane his Steward of Law here.
I mean, he could be slow playing it, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
This could all just be like an elaborate ruse. Maybe, you know, just trying to save Shameful Display. No, I would say that would be pretty hilarious.
If I have Assassination, I would consider assassinating this Brash Samurai.
I think I would almost do it right now, right?
Yeah, that's what I meant. I would do it like now, while he's not honored and Micah can't counter it. Then Micah has to spend a card, right, to get an honored character or win a firing. And on this board state, it doesn't look like Micah can win a firing.
If you have a Fury here, I think this is probably one of those situations where you go ahead and fire it off, right? Like, no reason to keep it saved.
I wonder what the bids are going to be here. If I'm jokingly, do you bid 3 here? I know it relieves some of the honor pressure, but you get a really good peek at the hand.
I think that Micah has to bid 1.
Oh, no, Challenger got re-honored, so it's at 5. I was still thinking it was dishonored. So we see Ready for Battle. We do see the Reprieve. Maybe you're supposed to pre-play the Reprieve. I'm not sure. I actually think you're 100% supposed to pre-play the Reprieve. Well, Dan, we don't know he doesn't have it. He could just slow play it with the Brash Samurai. Yeah, making him discard Reprieve here just screams that he's slow playing the Noble Sack.
Fits of doing that.
I think jokingly should have, after Kasada got dishonored, first action Reprieved.
That's completely fair, but on Micah's side, like, what's the benefit of slow playing the Noble Sack?
Maybe he values
Nourishment and just go.
Maybe he values nourishment and he wants to get an attack off with the Brash Samurai. I'm not sure. I honestly couldn't tell you. We'll see.
The chat Mittens is saying he's surprised jokingly let him win that. You know, I can feel you there, especially when the honor differentials are so great, and with Crab you do have sort of this long-term game plan of being able to continue pressure even if you give up 2.
Yeah, it's
just when some people get people below 5 or in that 5 area, it's just very hard mentally to like let up the boot from the throat, and so I think sometimes you make decisions that I think in the short term and long term, or in the short term seem fine, but in the long term actually are worse.
Yeah. See, I just never get into this position. I'm usually at the low honor thing because I'm just aggressively dueling. Like I just like, you know, when I play a card, I want it to do what I want it to do, right? Like I don't like playing a card and then having it lose. Like if you turn that policy debate there, then Micah discarded 2 cards for 4 honor. I would pay 4 honor to have my opponent discard 2 cards, one of my choice. Yeah, Mitten says 4 more air rings, 20 to get to 25 honor. So there's the break. We're gonna see double keeper come out here. Oh, Micah discards another debate at random. That's really strong.
That he's got the Noble Sack in hand, because I think if you do have Noble Sack, you have to use it there on the Kasada with your Nourishment to save the province, because that's the only way you're saving that province, and then maybe even preventing keepers from coming into play. I'm rather sure that he does not have it at this point.
Okay, I mean, we'll see. The way he's played it has signaled that he does have it, but also that he doesn't, right? Like he's made some plays. He's made some plays that scream that he has it, and then he's also made some plays that are just like, maybe you don't have it.
Yeah, let's say you don't have Noble Sack in your hand, right? But you still win that policy debate. Is there anything you get rid of instead of Reprieve though?
Ready for Battle is the only card I can think of, but with the Witch Hunter in play, it's not as relevant. Yeah, okay, maybe you're right. So it runs into Fertile Fields here. I think we're gonna see a defense with this Intimidating Hida, and then it's gonna get stood with the Witch Hunter. We do have to. He does have to worry about a mint defeat, although Micah being at 4 honor and this Watch Commander could be a real. Oh no, he's ready for battle.
Yeah, like there's. I think you just
wait. Jokingly doesn't defend. Am I missing something?
Range? No, I just don't understand it.
Is that a misclick? That's gotta be a misclick, right? Oh, he drew Assassination off Fertile Fields. Oh no, he drew off the Earth Ring. He drew off the Earth Ring. That's so lucky. Yeah, he drew it off the Earth Ring.
Yeah, he couldn't have. He just did it. He couldn't have done it as Fertile Fields. That's pretty silly.
The Earth Ring giveth, and the Earth. No, it's off the Earth Ring, Superman. Because it's his first action, he hasn't activated Fertile yet. That's so insane. Wow. It's also risky because Micah's playing has 4 more conflict characters. No,
I
it
just don't think that there's. It doesn't feel like there's anything wrong with just defending with Intimidating Hida.
And then standing.
You know, just in case, right? Like.
So now that Hida goes after the meditations, we see this Keeper Initiate tagging along, interestingly enough. What do you feel about, how do you feel about taking your Keepers off cycle?
Oh, like when they're on different, like...
Yeah, like one's gonna be in the yard and one will be in play. It's just a little awkward in terms of getting them.
So, sometimes I like it because there are times where like you just still want to claim like your Keeper Ring for whatever reason, and if all of your dudes are in play, it kind of feels bad.
That's
even
fair.
Though like tactically speaking, that was the best thing for you to do short term, and that gave you the most value, but you don't get anything extra out of it. So like staggering it can help make sure that doesn't happen. Like I never see a crab not want to attack Earth. So
interesting that Jokingly decides to go for Void here instead of Air or Fire even. Like maybe I go Fire here and re-honor Kasada. You're gonna Void Narishma? Sure. So he doesn't have a reprieve now for this Intimidating Hida, which is really unfortunate because this Watch Commander leaving means he's down to 1 left in the deck. I mean, if I'm Micah here, I'm just attacking Fertile Fields just so I don't lose an honor.
And maybe he just wanted to get the Narishma off the field because he doesn't like the Kasada.
Hideyoshi, there's no way that Micah would win a conflict with Intimidating Hida being stood and put back in. He would just have to spend cards and he would just die to Dishonor. That's the only reason I say that the Void was maybe a little bit unnecessary. I think Fire and Air are both stronger. Air, for instance, there puts Micah to 2. And then Fire re-honors Kasada to prevent Noble Sack. Yeah, shrinking the board is also fine. Like, I mean, Void's not bad, right? Like, it's pretty hard for the Void Ring to be bad. But, so... Do you keep this other Witch Hunter here? Probably?
Probably, yeah. Well, I mean, now that I've got a Keeper in the yard that I can bring back...
Sure, and then you can sack the other Keeper and then bring them both back.
I think that's fine, just fine.
So Jokingly's hand is he has an Angel's Crown in his hand too, so he has a conflict character to eat. So you definitely keep Witch Hunter here. Oh, he flips Karada and a Mine. Karada is really huge because there's already an attachment in play. Karada District is not the strongest card in this matchup, but it definitely has value. So
it is running the full set of Fantana.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be useless.
So we see another Witch Hunter 3 Fate. We also see a Sami show up 3 Fate. Probably a Sami Challenger, yeah.
This is a pretty strong recovery for Micah. Like, this will allow him to somewhat stabilize, maybe not turn the corner, but he can perhaps stop the bleeding this turn, especially with going first and having 2 challengers. The steadfast witch hunters are a problem, though.
We do see an Iron Mine show up on Shameful Display here. So even if he has Noble Sack, we could see like a rebuild play. So,
and that's the big problem with the Noble Sack plan in Crab, is just like an Iron Mine showing up kind of shits on your parade a little bit.
Yeah,
it's just not. It's a very hard thing to answer.
We see Jokingly's hand is ready for battle. Mountain does not fall. Vengeful Oathkeeper, and then 2 unknown cards. 1 off the Fertile Fields last turn, and then now his draw step. Micah has 9 cards, so Micah does have a 4-card advantage. But you know, now that the Watch Commanders are out, maybe Micah has a better chance. Yeah, sorry, Mittens. I was looking at the cards left in his hand. Mittens, why can't you just be like Jokingly? He flipped Karada District in 13 cards without Satoshi. What were you doing wrong?
Riddle.
I don't know. Like, I don't understand. Why can't you be as good as Jokingly? I love you, Mittens. Don't worry, man.
Yeah.
Look, I wouldn't say these things if I didn't feel that Mittens and I had a decent rapport. We're seeing a big attack here at Fertile Fields.
What?
It really sucks to give Jokingly a card here.
Do you think it's military that he? No, it has to be political. So that
maybe you should just go to defend the wall. Are you really that scared? Bill, I haven't bribed Jadiel yet. I'm saving that for my next round. Saving that for the top 4 match.
To be honest, because if you go to defend the wall, he could just do an all-out attack, especially with challengers being a part of the group anyway. And he could just steal the fan. A box activation with the fan now puts him over what you're currently representing. I think you don't want him to all-out defend here. But it looks like he's going to anyway.
The way that I see it is that if you don't defend, you give Micah a free action to burn with a challenger. Micah now has to burn box, I guess, is the action. If you don't want to spend a real card.
And I guess he can't burn Challenger on something that's already in the battle, can he?
No, correct. Yeah, it doesn't change the board state. So, like, Micah would have to box the Keeper here for a burned action, or he has to play a card. Because you don't want to burn Asami, you want to make sure that you get Asami's trigger. And then with this Karada District in play, you can steal the fan onto your 3-Fate Witch Hunter.
Almost just have to pass here if you're Micah, because, like, You would want to use the box to bow the Keeper Initiate, so then you can use Asami. Like, he can't even use Asami right now.
Correct. Well, even if he could, he couldn't because it's Kasada. Jokingly has 1 Watch Commander left, Mittens. I think it's more of the honor effect, Screwman. With double Witch Hunter, you can sack your Keeper, stand Kasada, and then Kasada can just trample on in for an Earth Conflict and bring your 2 Keepers back. I think that's what he wants to do, and he's insulated from Noble Sack due to this Iron Mine in play. Like, you just send your 9 military Kasada trampling on over.
Like, stifling an Asami activation is, I think, very relevant.
Agreed. Right, very strong. And he doesn't even need to use Karada District yet. He actually can just wait until the end of the turn. If Micah doesn't play another attachment, you steal then. Yeah, we've seen 2 already, Mittens. 1 got let go'd. They were both on this Intimidating Hida. 1 got let go'd, and then the other one just naturally faded because he lost the reprieve to the debate. So we see Jokingly, because of Fertile Fields, brings the hand size the hands to 6 to 9. And then also, if Jokingly wins an Earth conflict, it'll be 7 to 8, which is really, really good. He also has a ready for battle for a Fury or a First Shame. Yeah, I think if you're Jokingly here, you sack your keeper and stand Kasada, and you do a military Earth conflict. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that Earth is probably 80% the best choice, just because it gives you back your activatable targets for Witch Hunter. Though you could
air.
Always, you could always slap down your Vengeful Oathkeeper at some point in time if you really desperately need a target, but Earth is probably the best. In those Witch Hunters.
Suruman, he also has a ready for battle in his hand, so that also will protect. Runs into Artifice here. I wonder if you defend with your Savvy Politician here, just to get the honor, the honor to fire.
This helps you turn on your
voice. Yeah, you honor Challenger probably, the 3-Fate Challenger.
Asami, right?
I don't know, right? Like Challenger gets more total stats than Asami. That's why I was thinking you would honor Challenger. And he does honor the Challenger. We're gonna see both keepers show up here. Discards the face down card, which is a Brash Samurai. Loses a First Shame at random. Wow, that's really strong. Do you just not play the First Shame there to make Jokingly play the ready for battle? Or maybe he has the voice now to prevent the ready for battle?
He wanted to save it for a point in time in which he could cancel.
That's fair.
And like, since his box is going to be attacked this turn, maybe he wanted to save Steward of Law.
He also couldn't First Shame there because Kasada was still on, and he didn't really want to burn 2 cards. That's fair. So if you're Jokingly, do you stand a character here to defend? And then you can make a political attack with your other keeper.
Leave his box open. You just let him do it.
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he leaves the box open. You have political favor. This is a really tough spot for Micah here. I think I would stand Kasada. Jokingly passes, though. I think I would have stood Kasada. Or, I actually might have stood my 3-Fate Witch Hunter. I would have mountained my Witch Hunter. And then, I could have stolen the fan onto my Witch Hunter if the mountain resolved. And then my Witch Hunter could attack through. It is entrenched position under the Stronghold.
Micah is going to attack.
I think he might do, it's water or air here. I'm not sure which one he's gonna do. Attacks Fertile Fields again.
I think air is probably correct. Like, water's more aggressive, but air is more defensive minded. Helps make sure that you don't
just
that
die.
He's not able to attack in. Yeah, like that you don't have to take an air claim in the face the following challenge.
Jokingly defends with both the keepers. We do know he has the Vengeful Oathkeeper in his hand, so he can still declare a conflict. Micah could have a Fury though. I guess the Ready for Battle is still there too. Yeah, I don't know. Ready for Battle has been really, really good. Like just the threat of it. So Jokingly wins.
He doesn't even need it, right? Like.
Oh, you just steal the fan.
Well, a fan doesn't quite do it for the Vengeful Oathkeeper. Like it still gets boxed.
No, it doesn't. It goes to 3. It's a 2-1.
It's a 2-1. Okay, you're right. His name was a 2-0.
He's it's okay. He's standing his 3-Fate Witch Hunter. He should steal the fan here also. And then I think we're gonna see a Void conflict. You void the 1-Fate Challenger. He has 1 unused Witch Hunter Mittens. He used 1 to sack the original keeper. Solaris says, has Micah won a single conflict yet? I don't think... Oh, he won the Fire Challenge. No, he didn't. Because it was a Defend the Wall? I think he won 1. I'm not sure. I think he's won 1.
True.
I think you want a fire conflict, but I'm not 100% sure. Oh man, he should have. Oh, I guess Casada's still on, but he should steal this fan for sure. That puts you to 5. If he steals the fan and has the last fan, he breaks or threatens a break. Right? Like that's 7. That's 7 with favor. He has to make sure to seal the fan though before this voided challenger leaves, so he gets some value. Micah passes. Not even gonna bother burning the box action because he doesn't have anything else. Yeah, so we see the fan being stolen. It'd just be really insane if he has the last fan here.
Commander or
there it is. There's the last fan. I think Micah should have burned the box action, just to have a chance of playing cards. Oh, Micah could have a rival here. I wonder if Micah has a political rival. He is playing 3 of them. Wow, Micah passes. Is that just it? Wow.
Run.
What'd you say? You've been cutting out a lot in this cast. I don't know what you're.
I don't know. Maybe it's a problem with Discord. I just said speed run.
Yeah. Jokingly going, trying to beat my record here. Yeah, 45 minutes. I mean, that's about what we did. That was a really like, it's really awkward, right? Like, Micah's bored right now. If you told me like that Micah lost this game, like I would say Micah lost this game very easily. Like, not like he played poorly. I mean, I think he just played the way it was. But like, looking at this board, I wouldn't say Micah lost easily, right?
No Miyamoto's Furies from Micah.
Wait,
not that they would matter on when with a board full of steadfast witch hunters, but it definitely would have saved your stronghold at that point.
So Micah has an assassination, 2 assassinations after getting low bid. There's the noble sack. There's the censure. Yep, that's another dead card. Admit defeat's a dead card. So the thing is, you have to burn an action to get around Casada, and then any bow effect gets ready for battled. There's the Voice of Honor that got turned off. Like, all these cards just got turned on now from that Art of Peace. Yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards that don't do anything. Bonsai does something, but not enough. The second Noble Sack, 7, 8. Yeah, that was literally.
Wait, so did he have a sack?
Wait.
The turn before, whenever we were having all that conversation about it.
Alright, we're gonna find out. If he did, I think that's incredibly greedy by Micah to try and get it with the Brass Samurai. Obviously, jokingly did draw off the Earthring the assassination, but it's still greedy. It's still just incredibly greedy. Especially after you debated out the reprieve.
Yep. Okay, so jokingly saying he just would have played the reprieve. All right, well, how do you feel about this matchup that you got coming up?
I think it's interesting. I definitely, so it's still crab, right? Like, they still can just crab you with, Iron Mind plays with charge, charge with center, stuff like that. Cloud the Mind really helps, obviously. Like, if these Witch Hunters were clouded, it would definitely be a different story. I think my Province row being a lot better than what Micah has offering. Like, there's a lot of instances where if he ever hits like Feast or Famine, I get to do crazy stuff. I expect to be honor pressured. But we'll see if I can manage not to kill myself with dishonor. I have been known to do that. And then obviously I just gotta dodge Karada District. If I can dodge Karada District, I will feel a lot happier. Ready for Battle is also really sick in this matchup. With
I mean the Ready for Battles are pretty good against Dragon. I think the nice thing that if history says anything, if Jokingly sees a first turn Satoshi, then we know that Karada District will be on the bottom 5.
The last
his dynasty.
Excellent.
Look forward to. If he doesn't see Satoshi, then he's just gonna natural draw it in like his second province row, and you're probably gonna die.
Pretty much. So that's gonna do it for the game, and thanks again, Chris, for casting. We have on Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is Shooterev versus Eric for the last top 8 match, which will goes to top 4. So the top 4 will be 2 cranes, a dragon, and a crab. Unfortunately, I'm on the crab side of the bracket where we can't eliminate the Grus, so there will be a Gru in the finals. So that's gonna do it for everyone. Thanks everyone for participating in chat and hanging out with us. We'll see you next time.
Dear friends.